Hey everyone, this is Casual Fanatic.
Film reviews without the shoes.
I'm Luca, your casual viewer.
And I'm Cayman, your fanatic. Welcome back.
It's been a long while for me to be here. Excuse my absence, but I'm sure you guys saw all the wonderful guests that we had here in the studio. I've been gone on some family medical stuff. So I was in Texas for like 6 weeks. Um, Everything turned out really well.
That's real good.
Um, yeah, that that's really the cause.
Yeah.
So I've been gone for a minute, and then when I came back, it was just kind of hard to get back in the groove.
Yeah.
Um, like losing like that rhythm.
Did
So
you like
weird.
bring your work laptop or were
Mhm.
you okay?
Yeah, dude, I packed my car full of shit because I knew I was gonna be there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I brought my work laptop. I brought my Switch, which I not once powered up because there was so much other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, dude, it was a lot. It was a lot, but it was a great time. I got to hang out with like my OG homies again. Alejandro and I, shout out Alejandro. We hung out a ton, and we
Okay.
each built like a table.
Yeah.
So like out of one plank of wood, we each now have like a table out of that piece of wood,
That's kind of cool.
which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, things are the same for me. I don't know, kind of the same. I'm studying for fucking exams per usual and killing myself over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, like you mentioned, been inviting other people over, and
Yeah.
that's been fun. Watching a lot of different movies, watching some older movies. Um, the weather hasn't been very kind, but
Wait, really? Has it not been good here?
I mean,
It's
not
been like bipolar. I know that.
yeah. Well, it's like because it's the most irritating thing, honestly, is because my weather app keeps telling me that it's gonna rain, and then it just doesn't.
Doesn't.
It's like 60% chance. I'm like bullshit.
Yeah, you fucking liar. It's like one little area, a drop lands, and it's like, eh, there you go,
It rained.
60%.
That counts.
We're in like a what's it, stage one drought or
Yeah.
level one
Well,
drought
and
or
I was
something.
seeing something that there's like a massive heat wave coming this summer.
Oh God,
So
kill me.
I know.
Are you
I
serious?
like,
I have no AC in my fucking
ugh,
house. Oh no, that's not good. Really? When did you hear that?
like 2 days ago. I don't even remember where I read it, but
I sure hope not.
I mean, it would be great if it was wrong, but based on how our winter went,
That's also true. And it's gonna be real bad because now everything is super dry here.
yeah.
And
No, like
fires are coming.
I know that I think it was one of the weeks you were gone. There was on the Denver subreddit, someone had posted a picture of like a huge fire out. It's like I don't remember all of the neighborhoods between here and Golden, but it was like one of the West Denver
Oh,
neighborhoods.
it was like an apartment complex, right? Or something like that? Or
Maybe.
no. I heard about a fire on an apartment complex, actually kind of close where I live. um, but I don't know really anything.
Oh, no.
The
But
fires are coming,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And all the other thing is if there's a bunch of fires in California, I mean, that smoke always
Always
travels over
weird.
here.
Yeah. Super lame. But what can you do? Except for, guys, practice not throwing cigarettes on the ground. Don't light unnecessary campfires. And if you do, douse that thing to living
Yeah,
extension.
do not leave
Extinction.
do not leave campfires unattended for
Guys,
sure.
yeah. Just be
When
smart.
you bring back Smokey the Bear,
Yeah.
only you can prevent forest fires.
Only you can. It's always a fucking human somewhere, an idiot that does it. Either they're pissed off at something like the LA fires last time, it was a guy that did it,
Hmm.
or it's like some stupid people on a camping trip that think they can
Well, there
light a
also
fire
is
wherever.
apparently I think at least two instances that I like for sure know about where recently people have been like purposely setting their businesses on
Oh my
fire.
god, brother.
There was the one dude set it was toilet paper warehouse, and my God, that thing went up.
Oh, man.
It was crazy.
Fuck. Was it insurance fraud?
No, it's not people
Doing it on purpose?
doing their own business. It's employees.
Oh.
Because he had recorded a video of him setting different, like, of the racking, setting different sections on fire, and in the video he was like, all you had to do was pay us a living wage.
You're kidding. That is fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
Now he's in jail, I bet.
I think, yeah, I don't know if I don't think he's gone to trial yet. It was not that long ago.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
That's
wild stuff.
nuts. Yeah, well, don't do that. Just chill, guys. Come on. But yeah, other than that, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about the 2026 movie, Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
It just came out recently. It was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Screenplay by Drew Goddard and based on a book by Andy Weir, who is the same person who wrote the book for The Martian.
That's
So-
where the comes in.
I think Drew Goddard also did the screenplay for The Martian. So
Oh,
writing
serious?
team, exact same.
Cool.
Stars Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, and James Ortiz. It had an estimated budget of $200 million, and it looks like so far it's made almost $580 million.
Wow.
So this not even final numbers because it's still in theaters, but it's doing great.
I will say that's probably one of the best performing movies in quite a while. I'm at already 2 times the amount that they put in it.
It's very popular. But yeah, what did you think about Project Hail Mary?
Overall, I really enjoyed it. I think it was I went in it per usual, knowing it had something to do about space, and I heard something about Alien at one point, and I was like, "Oh, interesting, cool." I went in it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was like a really fun watch. I think it like the storyline overall was really interesting. Yeah, that's all I really want to give away as of current. And the thing is, I talk to so many people, either you love it or you're just like, "Eh."
I feel like I also had a really good time. I think, same as you, I don't want to give away too much, but I think this is definitely, I think an example of it's better if you don't think about it too much.
That exactly.
Because
Yeah.
in the theater, fantastic. When I sat down to try and write my notes, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, I know. You gotta just enjoy the moment
Yeah.
and not go in with like, your
But
brain
I
going,
also-
critical thinking.
I
There's
also
nobody-
didn't really know anything about it. I had heard that it was by the same guy who did The Martian, and I really liked The Martian, so I was like, okay, this is probably good. And you recommended it, and another one of my friends recommended it, so I was like, should be a good time.
Okay.
But yeah, really enjoyable. Good acting, good music,
Mhm.
good visuals. I mean, it's the whole package.
Yeah.
It's just it's I would say not as hard into the science as The Martian.
Yeah, it was
It's still I would say very science focused. But it's not as grounded.
yeah,
It's like science with a little bit of
a little cheating here and there.
right.
Yeah, I think it was like very science grounded, but I think they really did walk the line of like not too much smarts, but also like fun visuals, so you don't lose the audience.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where the movie plays like its role. It's not meant to be a, I don't know, docu film.
Well, yeah.
of
I mean, obviously, it
whatever.
doesn't need to be like documentary, but
I
like,
know, yeah.
but like, yes, I guess similar to The Martian. Like, I feel like this writing team and Andy Weir, because obviously a lot of it comes from his books,
Mhm.
but he's very good at making the process of science entertaining, and I feel like this movie does a good job with that. I just think it doesn't do quite as good of a job as The Martian, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think even though there are, like I said, looking back on it, a couple things that made me kind of tilt my head. I can't look past the experience that I had while watching it, and I feel
Mm,
like that was a really good experience.
yeah, yeah. Same. Cool.
All right, well then,
Oh,
I guess we'll do a summary. So, spoilers.
spoiler alert.
All right, this movie begins with Ryan Gosling's character Ryland Grace waking up in some sort of med bay, and he doesn't know where he is, doesn't know what's going on. There's a robot like trying to take his clothes off.
It was doing something, making
uh,
sure he was alive.
um and then he soon figures out that he is in a spaceship and is uh trying just kind of exploring, seeing what's going on.
Mhm.
He notices at one point like an electron microscope, and he's like, why do I know what this is?
True. Yeah, he looked at like a lot of the instruments there. He was like, "Why do I know that?"
And then he found there were two other astronauts there with him, but they had both passed away. And so he's just like trying to piece everything together as to like why he's there, what he's doing,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. And uh, I'm probably not going to get the timing of all of these right, but like throughout the movie, it's like bounces back and forth between him on the ship and like flashbacks of him before going to space, because it's like him getting his memories back
Yeah.
as the movie goes along.
I will say, for some reason, I went and watched the movie with my mom.
Hmm.
That confused her quite a bit.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, I wasn't confused, but that made me wonder. Like, I wonder what they could do better. To, like,
I think
really
they
show that hey, this is flashback right now, not.
Well, because I know they changed the aspect ratio for the flashback. So like all of the space stuff was full screen, and then it got narrower
Did
during the
it? I
flashbacks.
didn't even notice that. Huh.
Well,
Neither did my mom, obviously. Okay, cool. Well, that makes sense. I mean, I knew that it was a flashback, but she like leaned over at one point. She was like, "What's going on? What are they?" And I was like, "It's a flashback, mom. It's a flashback."
but yeah, so we see him teaching a class, and there was apparently some announcement. I think he teaches a middle school class. I think he said middle school later in the film, but there was some sort of announcement that the sun is dying, and so all of his kids are like, "Is this real?" And he's like, "You should probably talk to your parents about that. I don't know if that's the right one." And they just keep bothering him about it, and eventually he does explain. And obviously, we find out as well that there are these things called Petrova lines, which scientists have found between the sun and Venus. And it looks like whatever's going on with that line is dimming the sun. And they predict that within 30 years, it's going to drop the global temperature enough that crops are going to die and everyone's going to starve to death.
Mhm.
And so they're trying to figure out what is going on here. They find all of these like little black dots that they don't know what they are. But then after the class, some uh, official looking lady shows up, and
Military figure, I feel like.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what
Secret
her like
Service
rank is. She's with
military.
the government.
Yeah.
But she tells Grace, she's like, "Hey, we found this paper that you wrote," because he had written some like publication about how he thinks that life doesn't have to be water based, and they're like, well, we think that it might be helpful in us researching these black dots. So we need your help. And he was like, I don't want to get into
He like
it.
downplayed his own abilities so much throughout the whole movie. It was
Yeah.
kind of nuts. Yeah, he was like, "No thanks," but didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. They eventually coerced him to coming to their lab, and then there's like he's in like a hazmat suit inside of a walled off chamber, and then outside of that there's also another pane of glass, and everyone else is behind that window like watching him do anything just in case it goes crazy. And so he's doing all these tests. He eventually figures out that the black dots are cells, which, of course, is a huge discovery. But shortly after that, figures out that the cells are in fact made of water, and so
He gets
he
all
he was still
pissed off.
wrong. But
He gets really upset.
yeah. And so he is it's still obviously big news because like I said, they didn't know what was happening before. And so he is starting to just continue to figure out like, okay, what makes these things work? Like, where are they going? Why are they traveling to Venus? Like, what's so special about that? Um, and then back in now time on the ship, he is trying to figure out. He sees a star close by, and he's like, "Oh, we'll just turn around and go home." And then figures out that the star he's looking at is actually not our sun, and he is, I think, 11.3 light years away. And so he's like, "Well, I guess I'm not doing
Yeah.
that." Um,
Yeah.
the ship is headed to a different star called Tau Ceti, and when he arrives there, there's suddenly a very large extraterrestrial ship that just pops up next to
Yeah.
his, and a really funny sequence of him like he just keeps trying to get away, and it just keeps following him, and so he's like, okay. And then once he eventually stops, there's like this little robot arm on the other ship that comes out and like throws a little something at him. And obviously he doesn't know what it is. So he's like worried it may be a bomb or something. And then you just see it like bounce off the hull. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, okay. And so then the robot arm throws another one and he manages to like, he gets in uh EVA suit, yeah, and managed to go outside the ship and catch it.
Which was a whole sequence on its own.
Yeah. There's a little container that inside has like a model of a section of the galaxy. And so it has like a bunch of different stars, and then one of the stars is labeled. And so then he adds his own little part of the model there with our sun and labels that, and then sends that back to the other ship. I guess back to flashback time. He is working the after he figures out why after he figures out that they're cells, the government sort of just packs everything up, but they're like, we're gonna leave you 3 of them to just research whatever you can to help. And while he's doing that, he's trying to figure out why they're going to Venus. And Carl, who is like, I guess, like not a security guard, but like one of the other government
Bodyguard
people
or
that, yeah,
something.
is just like staying there to keep an eye on him. But he's like, well, what if they just want some fresh air? And Grace is like, Venus is the atmosphere is like mostly carbon dioxide and is like super toxic. And Carl's like, maybe that's fresh air to them. And so they like go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and they like build this uh big box with a little light inside that has a little chamber that's filled with carbon dioxide, and they close off the box and then close off the room. And when they turn on the light inside the box, all of the astrophages is what they're called because they eat the sun. Um, all of the astrophages like shoot towards the tiny little box, and then when he goes inside to find them, he finds a fourth one, and so discovers that the carbon dioxide is how they reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously he reports that back to the government lady. Her name is in my notes, but I don't remember it right now. But we'll get to that later. But she brings him in, and there's like this much bigger mission and a bunch of scientists around the world trying to figure stuff out, and explains how he figured out that they were breeding. And so then they show him that they have discovered that all of the stars in the galaxy are dimming except for Tau Ceti, which is why the ship is going there, because they want to figure out why that star isn't being affected. And so then back on the ship, they are a tunnel comes across, and at first, obviously, being a smart person, he's like, well, I don't really trust this. But he puts on his suit, goes to the other end of the tunnel, and is uh, there's just like a small little window there.
Mm.
But then he just sees like a hand, like a little nub hand, sort of like shooing him, I guess. And so he goes back to his ship for a while, and then when he comes back the next time, there's like a much larger glass wall, and it starts like pulling like the lighting out of the ship to put lights in this little tunnel. And then when he shows up to the glass wall, eventually he sees a little like rock creature come up to the other side. And so they start trying to communicate with each other, but the other creature, it just does like music notes.
Yeah.
Um and so as I think one of the first things that he tries to do to establish communication is he brings out a clock, and then he's like trying to show him, but then realizes that it doesn't seem like the rock creature can see anything.
Mhm.
So then he goes back and like puts tape of all of the numbers around the clock, so it's like a textural difference. And then we see that the alien can see it, and so then that alien runs away and comes back with another little cylinder that is also a clock, but obviously has different numbers on it. And so then Grace starts, he like puts together some sort of program on his computer that, again, just don't think about it too much.
Maybe they already had this figured out.
um, but puts in, um, like records what the alien says and then types in what the English word is. And so they're just like sitting there going back and forth trying to figure out the equivalents. I guess I don't really know. I'm already starting to think too much. Let's just get through the summary. We'll talk about this later. But ends up naming the alien Rocky because he's a rock. And so they start working together. He like builds a much bigger model inside of the tunnel, trying to figure out what they're gonna do about uh the astrophages. And eventually the he like goes to sleep one time, and then he like wakes up because there is like a banging on the door, and Rocky is like now inside of like a little like hamster ball and
That
just
he
like
built for himself.
right, and just like rolls onto his ship because apparently they figure out earlier that their atmospheres are like very very different from each other.
I think Rockies is like really hot, right?
Yeah, it's like hot, and I think it's like ammonia. So it's
Oh.
like super deadly.
Love that.
Yeah. Um so yeah, a comes on to the Hail Mary, which is the name of Grace's ship, and starts exploring for a while. They manage to like set up areas for him to get around, and then they start working together and eventually decide that they need to collect they discover that there is also a Petrova line around Tau Ceti going to this other planet, and so they are like move the ship into the Petrova line so they can get a sample. And they discover that the amount of astrophages leaving the star and going to the planet is the same as the amount coming from the planet to the star, which I guess is abnormal. I think in all of the other situations it would be like a lot heavier on the star side. And so they're like, okay, well, why is this equal on both sides? There must be something going on with the stuff coming from the planet.
Mm.
And so they examine that further and discover that there are other cells that are eating the astrophages, which means there's life on that planet, which is like its own huge discovery. But like obviously they're each trying to save their homeworld, so it's like you don't really have time to
Save that till
celebrate.
later.
Yeah, it's like we got a mission right now. Meanwhile, in flashback world, they are trying to discover how they're going to get to Tau Ceti. They figure out that the astrophages are able to absorb like a crazy amount of energy.
Like an insane amount.
Yeah, and so they're like, if we can breed the astrophages, then we can use them as fuel, and that will be able to get us all the way to this other star system. And so they bring everyone on to, while they're all working on this, they're on like an aircraft carrier, and everyone's just kind of making the most of their time. They're researching, but then in between all of that, they're like hanging out with each other. It seems like two of the other astronauts are, I don't know if they're in a relationship, but they're definitely hooking up.
Yeah, something's going on there.
They like have a karaoke party at one point, and Straught, I think is the woman's name.
I don't remember.
Anyway, she's up on the deck. She's like not wanting to participate, but then Grace goes up and talks to her, and then she eventually comes down and does karaoke as well. And then they are talking about how they need the astronauts that are going on the mission. They're like,
being trained.
Right. They're being trained, and they're like, we don't have enough fuel to get everyone back. Like this is a one-way trip. And Grace is like, oh my God, you guys are so brave. Like I don't have that gene in me, or whatever he says. And then one of the astronauts is like, oh, it's not a gene. You just have to find something that's worth being brave for.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're all like getting prepared for the mission and stuff. And then on one of the days where they're like, it's like not that, like I think it's like a week before launch or something like that, like not much time, the plant where they were breeding all of the astrophages explodes because, like I mentioned, they just have so much energy inside of them, and so they're very volatile. And I don't know if they mention what went wrong, but yeah, somehow all of the astrophage blows up, and so they're like, okay, well now we really don't have enough fuel.
Yeah.
And so not only do they not have fuel, but that was also the science building. So all of their scientists are dead.
And the astronauts.
Well, the astronauts, because the three that they needed, where they said they need a pilot, an engineer, and a scientist.
Yeah.
The whole science team died. Yeah. And then obviously, as we saw earlier in the film, the pilot and the engineer that went with him died on the ship.
Yeah. Everyone dies.
Yeah. Yeah, and so now they're out of scientists, and they're like, Grace, I mean, you're the only one who knows what he's doing. Like, we need you to go. And he's like,
they have a meeting with him.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he has no idea what's going on. He's like, this is terrible. Like, who are we going to train?
And everyone just looks at him.
They're like,
right.
And he's like, oh.
Yeah. And so he's like, give me some time to think about it. And then back in today land. I'm trying my best on the ship. They are trying to figure out how to get more of the they end up calling them Tauamoebas, because it's like amoeba plus Tau Ceti. But trying to get more of the cells that eat the astrophages. But Grace mentions that the ship isn't built for being inside of an atmosphere, and so there's no way for them to like go down and collect some. But Rocky is like, oh, I'm just build a chain, and then we can just throw it down into the atmosphere and collect it and bring it back up. And there's also this other room on the ship, which I'm not really sure why this is here, but it's just like a big hollow dome where it's just like screens. Oh, yeah. It's like the that building in Las Vegas. What's that called?
The Sphere.
The Sphere, yeah. It's pretty much just that, but like much smaller.
Yeah. It's so that they can feel connected to nature and feel connected to the earth and kind of relax versus always being in a sterile, cold environment, aka space in a metal fucking ship.
And so he takes Rocky in there and teaches him about fishing.
Fishing, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
had a great time.
It shows him the Rocky movies.
He's like, Patrick.
And then so they end up building this like 3 kilometer chain, and they get into like low orbit around this planet and toss this. Rocky builds like this spear thing to collect the Talmebas. They throw it down there, and it's like going pretty well so far, but then because there's no one actively piloting the ship, it like starts to dip, and that creates more drag, which is heating things up outside the ship. And eventually, right when Grace manages to collect the ball, one of the pieces of the ship like gets knocked off and hits him, and he drops the ball, but luckily it's tethered to
something that's hanging off the ship.
Yeah,
right?
it's tethered to the piece that flew off. So he manages to reel that back in, and then cuts the tether, and manages to get it back inside the ship. But now they are like way too low, and so they struggle to get back up out of the atmosphere. And then even after that happens, then because of all of the damage to the hull, one of the fuel tanks gets damaged, and so now all of the astrophages are spitting out everywhere, and it like throws the ship into this crazy spin. And so they need to eject the fuel tanks in order to stabilize. But then I think when one of them ejects, because it's like somehow slows the ship down so much, it like knocks Grace against the control panel, and so knocks him out. And obviously the ship is still like sinking back towards the planet. Rocky breaks out of his hamster ball to flip the switches to eject the other fuel tank, and then managed to drag Grace back to the med bay so that he can get better. Grace wakes up the next morning, and like there is, I guess, like soot. I don't really know how to explain it.
Burn marks or something like that.
But like follows this trail and sees that Rocky managed to get back into an enclosed chamber, but he's like not waking up. And so Grace just sits with him for a few days, and then he's like, okay, you'll wake up eventually. I'm going to keep working on the project. Eventually, he uses some of the little containers that Rocky had built to start breeding the Talmebas to make more of them so that they can send them back to their planets. And eventually Rocky does wake up, and they are like, okay, well, that was a lot of drama, but we made it. And so then they have all of their Talmebas, and at one point Grace because he had been keeping it secret because he didn't want to be a bummer, but tells Rocky that he can't go back to Earth. He was like, this was always a one-way mission for me, it's whatever. And Rocky's like, I've got plenty of astrophage, I can just give you more.
Like, I'll give you some.
Yeah. And so they I guess refill the fuel tanks and all that, and then say their goodbyes and start heading back to their home planets. And then we go back to flashback world, and then we see it's like one final meeting between Grace and, I'm pretty sure her name is or Stott, I don't know, one of those. But yeah, they're sitting down at a desk, and she's like, literally, you are our only chance. Like, if you don't go, everyone dies. And he's like, I can't bring myself to do it.
He's literally like, I don't care.
I mean, he's crying, like he knows that he's essentially dooming everyone, but he's like,
but he doesn't care.
He's like, listen, I can't this is a suicide mission. I can't do it. Yeah. And she's like, okay, well, plan B. And brings in a bunch of guys who basically just like inject him with something and knock him out.
But first he runs away somehow.
Yeah.
Out of that, rushes to a field, and then he gets caught.
But yeah, so then we find out that he did not willingly go on this mission.
No.
Um,
Which is why he was a little confused that he was on a ship.
right.
He's like, he had no idea how to fly that thing. So Rocky also taught him at one point how
Yeah.
to fly.
But yeah, so he gets it because it's such a long journey. All of the astronauts are put into comas, and he's just the only one that survived.
Yeah.
Because I think they mentioned at one point like the coma is just a very, very risky process for that long, because it's like years of being in a coma, and so the other ones just didn't make it.
Dang.
Oh, and also another thing I forgot to mention, Rocky's crew also died, but they figure out that that's because of, there's just like a lot of radiation in space, and
He didn't know about radiation.
yeah, they didn't know about radiation apparently, but for some reason just the place where Rocky was staying was like near the astrophages, and they absorbed the radiation, so he survived, but I think he said there were like 23 other people on his ship that all died. So that was rough. But yeah, so Grace gets drugged, put on the ship, and then we go back to ship time. And on Grace's way back, he is like trying to go into a coma to go back home again, but then a bunch of alarms start going off, and we see that the Talmebas have like broken out of their containment because the containers that they were keeping them in, I guess because they were breeding them in there, the cells learned how to eat through that as well. And he was like, okay, well, if these escape and rip through everything, like I'm not gonna have enough fuel. It's gonna get into the fuel tanks, eat all the astrophages, whatever. And the containers it's this material they're calling xenonite because it's xenon. And there's a sequence earlier in the movie where he has like a scanner, and he's like, it says this box is made out of xenon, but xenon is a gas. And it's just like really confused, but apparently that's just what Rocky and his people make stuff out of. And so he's got these xenonite containers. The amoebas have learned how to eat through that, and he's like, oh shit, Rocky's whole ship is made out of this.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, I can either get back to Earth or I can go save Rocky, but I don't have enough fuel to do both. And so he loads the Talmebas, which I think he just put in like plastic bags.
Plastic bags with duct tape or something?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure, but okay.
But puts all of the Talmebas and all of his, like, he'd been taking like video diary logs, puts all of that in these 4
like pods,
like drone things. It names them after the Beatles.
Yeah.
And then sends those back to Earth, decides to turn around and go save Rocky. And then we see eventually that they do receive them on Earth. There's like a small snippet of the woman. She's like on a ship, and they're in the middle of like some ice, which I guess means that the Earth's already really fucking cold.
It's been like probably, I don't know, like 10, 15 years at that point, right?
I think even like 20, because if it's 11 and a half light years away, that's 11 years out to the star and 11 years back.
True.
Yeah. So yeah, we see that she received it because she's watching one of the videos of him with Rocky, and like, first of all, seeing another alien for the first time, but she doesn't seem very concerned with that. But then we see that Grace has gone with Rocky back to his planet, and they've just like built a biodome for him with like a nice little house and a tree and a beach. And
kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. But yeah, he's just hanging out there with Rocky, and then turns out he's really loves being a teacher, and so the last scene is him teaching a bunch of the little rock children.
Yeah. I think Rocky did also say like, "Hey, your ship's ready," and then he was like, "Give me some time to think about it."
And Rocky's like, "Think about it as long as you want."
What a good time.
But yeah. And that's it.
That's the movie. Dude, that's crazy that you just rolled through it like that. Jeez Louise. You guys would not be getting a summary like that from me. All right, just letting you know. That's crazy.
I've been slacking recently. If you watch the past few episodes, I've been struggling with the summary, so I really had to step up my game on this one.
Not today. Cool. Wow. Yeah. I mean, all right. That's the podcast.
All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back for some more detailed thoughts.
Let's do it. And we're back.
And we're back. All right. Well, I guess first thing I'll say is, I feel like I like Ryan Gosling a lot better when he's doing the funny. I feel like in his more dramatic roles, like he's not a bad actor. I don't hate him in anything, but I think Ryan Gosling is a much better comedic actor than he is a dramatic actor.
I totally agree. I think he has that face. He just has the face for it.
Yeah.
It's like serious enough, but like still funny.
Yeah.
And he did great in the movie, honestly. I mean, go him. I was entertained. So.
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of need to be because there's only 3 characters in the whole movie.
Honestly, yeah. You can totally see how he would have become like a middle school science teacher, although he is like such a big science whiz.
And he also, this is like, I've never seen anyone actually do this in real life, but he like kept wearing his glasses like hanging off one ear.
Oh, he did.
Did you not notice that? It was like literally every scene on Earth, because I don't think he ever wore his glasses in space for some reason, or maybe he did, but definitely all of the scenes on Earth, it was like, unless he was actively looking at something and like had his glasses on, when he's just like at a table talking to people, it was always like, but he was, no, it was like, hold on, I'll be right back.
Pause.
I don't even know if my glasses are loose enough to wear it the way that he was wearing it. But he was literally wearing like it would be on one ear and then the other one was like down under his chin like this.
What the fuck?
It was crazy.
I need to look back though at that. That's nuts. Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
I think just I don't think Ryan Gosling actually wears glasses, so maybe he just like thought that was quirky.
Maybe. I mean, it was if you caught onto it. I do like that the movie followed a book, and like that there was already that fan base set with this book, and apparently the book is really good, and it's actually more sciencey than the movie, which is kind of neat because that's one of the like take backs that would like the negatives that we had for the movie. So the book has that as a positive,
and it's a lot from what I've heard. I haven't read it, but it's a lot more like consistent with the science, so like it makes more sense.
Cool.
The score was really nice. There was especially the scene where they're inside of the Petrova line and it like does that weird like red sparkly stuff.
Yeah, where he's like surrounded by it.
Yeah, but whatever music was playing during that scene, great. I mean, all the music was great, but it was just like it was really good during those more like, I guess, emotional moments.
Yeah, totally agree.
I didn't even look up who the composer was for this movie, but good job, whoever that was. I actually thought that Rocky was CGI, but found out after I saw the movie they used a puppet. And it's like, there are a couple scenes like when crazy stuff is happening that he's totally CGI, but for most of the movie it's like they had a puppet with just like a couple little visual enhancements.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Cool.
Yeah.
That's sick. Hell yeah. One of my notes is heavy emphasis on science-based problem solving, which is like they placed so much emphasis from the very beginning of the movie of like, hey, math and science is gonna save like the human species.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
I really especially liked the little cardboard Venus experiment that they did.
Yeah,
and that to
like
me
so like
felt
backyard type of feel.
And that's the kind of feeling that I feel like there was a lot more of in The Martian. And so like that scene in again, both written by the same person, but like I feel like that's the kind of vibe that is like way more in the books. So I'm not very good at reading books, if I'm being honest. I have a lot of books that I'll start and I'll read a couple chapters and I'm like, well, that's enough for now.
I'll get back to that one. Pretty good though.
But I feel like this is definitely a book that I would be interested in reading.
Yeah, yeah. Low key, me too. I mean, I didn't even know it was a book before the movie, so I found that out afterwards. But I will say, in this movie, science is the hero for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the nerdy scientist that does it all for the human race. It just takes one dude.
I really liked the the government woman had the most like German sense of humor.
She did. She was so dry and just direct and like no emotions.
Like the scene that really stood out to me is when they're on the aircraft carrier and everyone else is partying and she's up on top and he like climbs up on deck and he's like, permission to come aboard, and she's like, you are already aboard.
He's like, there. All right. So good. So good. Yeah, that's my type of humor. And that humor honestly was throughout the whole thing. Even Rocky had like a pretty good sense of humor.
Yeah, his was more like he just doesn't
Get it.
Yeah, like his is almost like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like he just takes everything
Yes.
super literally.
Yes. But then even when he was like teaching him how to like fly the ship, well, I don't know exactly remember what he was saying, but he was like, no, terrible. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. I don't know. He was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, the character building for Rocky was so good.
Mm.
When I thought he died, I definitely teared up. I was like, no, Rocky, no. Because he was just such a, I don't know, he felt like to me, like a like I don't know, humor level of like maybe a 7-8-year-old. But then
Yeah,
like
well, that's the other thing is I feel like it is a little confusing because it felt like he kept bouncing back and forth between like, is he a child or is he a scientist?
Yeah.
Because like there were some scenes where it's like he's smarter than Grace and like knows what he's doing and is able to like build shit, and then there's other scenes where he's like when he comes on the ship for the first time and he's just like rolling around bumping into stuff. I'm like, this is all important stuff that you're just crashing into. Like you can't be that dumb.
yeah, that's like the 7-8-year-old kid coming out of it.
Right.
But who knows? I mean,
he has a wife that he's apparently been with for like 150 years,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you can't be acting this childish, right?
Yeah. Which was hilarious because like regular words, just like one or two tones, when he was talking about like his name or his wife's name, it was like
Yeah.
it's like a whole like passage.
Yeah.
He's like, huh, okay.
Oh, and the Grace's translation for his wife's name is Adrian because that's Rocky's wife in the Rocky movies.
Yep.
They also end up naming the planet Adrian where they find the other life.
They
on.
do. They
Yeah.
do.
I really liked the other two astronauts during the scenes on Earth, and I'm like, I wish we got to see more of them.
A little bit of them.
Yeah.
I wish though that they didn't die like, I don't know, in like those chambers that they were in. I wish they would have died from like they were out, of the chamber, and then something happened. They went back in the chamber, and then they would have died. Like they did something on the ship to like further along something, and then he wakes up to them having started something.
That could have been interesting.
Which could have been interesting, like trying to follow like the steps of like what they figured out, what they saw, what they found, and then all of a sudden like he's adding on to his science part of it.
Yeah.
But I get like they weren't really scientists in a manner, but I thought that could have been cool. I really do enjoy the pace of the movie as well. Like to me, it did not feel like a long movie.
Yeah,
And it also didn't feel short.
I think the bouncing back and forth helped. I will say though, I think maybe the ending went on a little too long for me.
Okay.
Like I feel like when they said their goodbyes and parted ways, I thought that was gonna be it, and then it was like, one more thing has to go wrong, and I was like, okay.
True. But that right there shows like the selflessness that his character carried along, and like that also shows the connection that they made, because he he would risk the whole Earth to not put his life in jeopardy, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then he was on his way home, and then for this one person that he really had a connection with,
yeah.
he like jeopardized his whole being.
It does kind of it makes his like character growth feel weird because like I feel like if we had known in the beginning that he was selfish and then watch him turn into this person who is gonna risk his life to go save this friend that he made,
Yeah.
then it's like that's a clear path. But like we see him about to sacrifice himself, and then we see a flashback of him saying, "I don't want to go to space, fuck the world." And it's
True.
like I don't know. Having those right next to each other,
It's tough.
eh.
I get it. But I just think of it like linearly, front to back, front to back. It's like the reluctant hero arc. He like doesn't want to do any of it, but he is the guy.
Yeah. It felt another thing that I just thought was funny was towards, and I guess maybe they're not actually rocks and they just like look like rocks.
That's what I'm guessing.
But
They're probably some type of
but in the last scene when they're like walking along the beach and there's like a really big rock next to Grace's house, and I'm just like, this would be like if we lived on a planet made of flesh. Like, how bonkers is that?
true. We live on a planet of water and we're mostly water.
I mean, yeah, but it's different.
It is different. No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You go to the
But-
beach and it's just like skin.
But I wonder that's disgusting. But I wonder what like the outside of the planet looked like because they never really showed that part.
Yeah, they just showed the biome part.
I think they
would
just
assume it's
made it for him. is
I would
what I'm
assume it's
thinking.
really dark because none of them can see, so they don't
Yeah.
need light.
I mean, what do they do with like echolocation
Yeah.
or I don't know because you could also hear him and see him.
yeah, I
through
mean,
walls
it's
uptime.
I think it's just really advanced echolocation.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Daredevil sees.
Fair, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like that.
I do think it's kind of funny that they like kept. I mean, I guess to be fair, they didn't initially bring him along until he discovered the breeding thing. It felt like him discovering that the astrophages were cells. I was just like, this another thing was like not something I thought about during the movie, but while I was thinking about it afterwards, I was like, no one else could do like all he did to figure out it was a cell was poke it and watch the cell explode. And I'm like,
So true.
literally anyone could have done that.
That's true. I don't know. And apparently the whole world was working on it. Like,
Right.
everywhere.
And so it's just like the fact that he was able to make 2 breakthroughs that no one else made. I'm like, I just don't think he's that smart.
yeah, you're like, but maybe he is just that scientist that does everything wrong / just like lower level. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
He started from the basics of let's poke this thing,
Mhm.
and then he killed it. But then I think it came back alive at one point. I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
Anyhow,
The scene with them trying to speak to each other, the thing that I almost got off on a tangent about during the summary, but like obviously we understand how Grace knows what Rocky is
I know
saying,
exactly what you're gonna do.
but how does Rocky know English? They're not translating the other direction.
Yeah, but I wonder if he is somehow like the thing that he plays for him to understand in English. Maybe he can reverse that also.
If they had
But
shown that,
They never showed it.
right.
Right. But maybe Rocky is just that smart.
I don't know, man.
I know,
He's
that's-
psychic
again, One of the big gaps right there. Okay, it is. But they did for us at least. English wise, they showed how the translation, and then they showed them working on it. Which was
reminded
kinda
me
cool.
a lot of Arrival,
So true.
which I mean, obviously is like a much more grounded science movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they like the whole movie is just them translating.
Yeah.
But it fucking love Arrival, so not complaining about that. But yeah, I feel like there were just so many parts in this movie that reminded me of other Alien movies.
But they're the good ones.
Yeah, no, it didn't remind me of any bad movies, so well, thank God for that. It did feel this is one thing I did actually question while I was watching the movie, is there's a point right after they collect the the amoebas, um, Grace is just like experimenting with them out in the open, like no protection. He's got latex gloves on, but like you see earlier in the movie, he has that chamber where it's like one of those things where you have to put your arms in there, and he's not using that. He's just like on a desk dropping the astrophages. I'm like, that's dangerous. No.
But I think at one point, to like kind of get rid of that, he was basically like, I'm expendable, aren't I? Remember he asked them that, they were like,
then everyone else dies.
well, maybe not, because they were like in such a padded room and there's only 3 cells in there.
No, but I'm saying on the ship he was doing that.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. On the ship he was, but maybe at that point he was so comfortable with them.
Reckless. It's bad science.
That is bad science. Yeah, that's true.
There is another point. Again, there's the 2 things that I noticed is him being reckless with the astrophages, and then the second thing that I questioned was there's a point towards the end where when he is describing like how people on Earth think about him or whatever, he tells Rocky that the German lady told him that she thought his head was in the clouds, and Rocky doesn't question that at all. And I feel like there's a difference between knowing words and knowing idioms. Head in the clouds doesn't make sense to someone who doesn't actually know English.
True, and he was messing up some of the idioms quite a bit there.
Yeah.
And sayings.
So like,
I forget which saying.
I just feel like it would have been very easy to have Rocky just be like, "What does head in the clouds mean?"
True. Yeah. No, that's a good, fair point. I didn't even question it. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, the pitfalls of the movie, but I don't know. I think I just enjoyed it too much. I also like that they showed the inside of Rocky's ship at one point.
Yeah, that was fun.
And he had like made like this glass suit thing for.
I do want to know though how, because there's no like pumps or anything. Like, how does he fill the suit with his atmosphere?
Maybe it was just like that much air. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't
Or like, because
maybe there's oxygen in it, and it can only last for so long, and then
because like when he breaks out of his thing to save Grace, and then he like managed to crawl back into one. But I'm like, but how did you fix the air inside of it when you crawled inside?
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Don't know. Maybe because like when he crawled back into it and he like fixed it, whatever air was in there at that point in time, like burned him or did, whatever, but then it was gone.
Possible.
Who knows? Because he was giving off like a smoke when he was in the air.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Okay. Just a few other nitpicks, just because I don't want to make it seem like I didn't like the movie. I really, really enjoyed it, but like I said, when I was trying to type up my notes after I got home from the theater, I just like all of a sudden all of these questions popped into my mind.
You won't get any of that from me, so we're good here.
Another thing, this is not a problem for me, but just leading into another thing is they never explain how the astrophages like jump between stars.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
They showed the map with all the stars, and they're like, it's like an infection, it's spreading, and I'm like, it's going that far though? Like how? And also for because we know that they reproduce on planets with CO2, that means that every single star has a Venus-like planet orbiting it.
Yeah, I don't know.
This seems a little unlikely.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. I have no idea. I mean, maybe it's just like infrared. They can see dots everywhere, and they go toward the dot and hope.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, and then the last thing that is like not a science problem, just something that was kind of less effective as part of the storytelling, was I just felt like there was never any real tension. Like, I feel like the one moment when Rocky has to save Grace and he has to like break out of his bubble, I really thought that Rocky had died. But then when Grace wakes up the next morning and the body's not there, I'm like, oh, okay, so Rocky's alive. And I was just like, I was never worried about it again after that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
And
I was like, maybe he's still dead
and
if he tried, but
I never once thought that Grace was gonna die. I don't know. I just
that's
like
fair. I don't either.
it felt like there were a lot of moments where they were like trying to make you feel like they were in danger. Like the whole thing when they were on the planet is like, oh no, the ship might crash. Oh no, now it's spinning. Oh no, Grace hit his head, and I'm like, none of this matters.
And I think that is the flaw in American movies. Because in European movies and German movies specifically, not every movie that you sit down and watch ends happily.
Mhm.
It just ends. Boom. Movie done. And you're like, and it like hurts you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Here with American movies, it's just like the feeling, the reason that you felt that way is just because like there is no backup really. So like the movie has to keep going.
We know it, not that every movie has a happy ending, but like,
I think most do though.
well, it, even if it's not like a happy ending, it's like there's a certain structure where it's like the movie can't continue if this happens.
Right. Right. And I think that's the flaw. I think there need to be some movies where it just like ends and it's just like, holy cow, what?
Yeah.
Versus like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a way. Something
Mhm.
is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that yeah, like
It's
I
a
was never
hard,
worried
yeah.
during the movie either.
And
It's just
I think that it's a hard thing to get out of, but it's also like you just have to make the stakes different. Like there's a way to create tension without it being like, is the main character gonna die? Like you just have like smaller stakes. Like with the other scientists blowing up, like that's a real setback. And like even if Grace survives, that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna succeed.
right. True.
um
Yeah, I don't know. I can see that being a flaw for sure.
yeah. That was honestly, despite all of the weird little nitpicks that I mentioned, I think that's probably the biggest problem that I had, was just like I just never, it never felt like there was any real danger.
Hmm. I definitely thought there was real danger when the ship was being torn up and he couldn't like reach that flipped switch, you know? Cuz like there was so much, I don't know, like gravity pulling him in one way and he was trying to hit the switch but he couldn't and then he like fainted.
Yeah.
And that moment was like, is Rocky going to risk his life and his whole planet to save him?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the
Well,
moment.
that's I think that's why that moment was the most believable for me, because like obviously the movie isn't gonna just end with Grace dying,
Imagine though.
but
Imagine if it did.
imagine if it did. But it's totally realistic if Rocky died and then his whole planet. It's like it's still, that would be terrifying.
Yeah,
Like,
terrible, but like,
but that the movie could continue if that happened.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like at that point he could have, if that did happen, maybe he could have sent a pod with, you know, the information and Rocky in it to Rocky's planet.
Yeah.
Since Rocky kind of told him where it was. And then he like flew home. That could have been the solution there, but yeah, I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense. But like the character development of those two, like first complete isolation for both of them. They're
Mhm.
both alone for however long, kind of going insane.
And it really showed, because I know uh we don't really see, like, obviously Grace cares about the kids that he's teaching, but it seems like he like doesn't really have any real connections outside of that. Like we don't see him hanging out with any friends.
No.
He doesn't have a girlfriend. I think at one point they even say he doesn't even have a dog. Like
Right.
he's already by himself. And so him being able to form this relationship with Rocky is like, of course he's gonna sacrifice himself. That's his only friend.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Stakes right there.
Yeah. So that was successful. I
That
like
was very successful, I think. That bonding of like being complete isolation and meeting and then trying to do this thing and then all of a sudden they're like best buds and they can like joke around with each other and I thought that was really sweet. I don't know, it was just lighthearted and
Mhm.
like a good feeling.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a very good feeling movie, I think.
for sure, for sure.
Um,
Like beginning to end, honestly, just sure there's like drama, but like you feel good after the movie finishes.
Yeah.
Which is what I like the most.
and there's a lot of, I think it helps that there's a lot of like small successes, and I think that's part of what makes the science parts so interesting, is because like yeah, we have big problem. We have to figure out how to save our son. But there's all of these tiny little problems that it's like, we figured this out. Oh, new problem. We figured this out. And you're like, once you start going down that path, it's like all of those moments feel so triumphant.
For sure. And I hope that inspires like next generations, like small kids that saw that maybe and they're like, oh my God, that is so cool. Like, I want to have that feeling when I grow up. I hope that's what this movie did. I really do. I just hope there's one or two people out there that saw it and were like, I want to be a scientist when I grow up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it for me.
Cool. I think that was it for me as well. Let me double check. Yep. That's it for me.
That was it for me as well.
Well, then, we'll move on to trivia.
Let's do it.
First off, her name is Eva Stratt. As those for the journal.
There it is.
Okay, the scene where Eva Stratt sings karaoke was not in the original script. Ryan Gosling overheard Sandra Hüller singing between takes and asked her to perform for the movie just 48 hours before filming that scene. Hüller agreed and selected "Sign of the Times" by Harry Styles as her song.
Huh. Sick.
I feel like it was definitely like one of those where
Like a loud,
you know,
field.
the song is kind of has to do with the themes of the movie. I'm not a huge Harry Styles fan, but I mean, I like that song.
Yeah. I totally thought that they were gonna have sex at one point. I was waiting for it to happen and never did. But I'm telling you, if this was a rated R movie, which I don't think it is, right? No.
I think it's PG-13.
Is it? Well, if this was rated R, they would have for sure smashed here and there. I mean, there was just chemistry between the two, I feel like. Anyway, cool. That's a cool little fact.
The astronauts of the Artemis 2 mission watched the film in quarantine before their launch to the moon.
No way. Sick. That's cool.
That was another thing that happened while you were gone.
Yeah, Artemis 2 launched.
That was pretty cool.
I came back.
Yeah,
Everything.
Me and Trevor and his girlfriend were like texting each other because we were all just sitting here with had a live stream with the shuttle coming back and landing.
Oh, sick.
And so we were just like sitting there watching it being like, this is kind of cool.
Wait, where were you watching it?
I was here and they were at their place.
I was watching it too. It was unbelievable.
It took them forever to get out of that pod though.
Yeah.
It landed in the ocean and then they sat there for like another hour.
They were like,
oh my God.
They were like, shutdown procedure. Nope, never mind. Actually, we can't get radio signal to work. I'm like, how does
just open the door?
How does your sat nav not work? And then how does the antenna thing? I don't know. Anyway.
But that was exciting.
Yeah. When they rolled out, they were on that little raft and they'd like one of the guys helping them out gave all of them a hug.
Yeah.
I thought that was super sweet.
Oh, nice. It must be so crazy because how long were they gone? Like 10 days?
Yeah.
To just not to see 3 other people for 10 days and no, I mean, I guess most of us experienced that in 2020, not seeing a lot of people.
True. They were prepared.
Yeah. They're like, we've been through this.
And I mean, the capsule was probably the size of this room.
Yeah, it's not very big.
It was, I mean, not very big, but I think I could probably hang out in here for 10 days with a few others. Maybe, actually. It's tough. But they wanted to go back. They were high spirits.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Lead puppeteer James Ortiz originally recorded Rocky's translated lines with the understanding that they would be dubbed over by a professional actor. The directors, while watching early cuts, found the lines were done well enough and couldn't be improved upon by another actor, so Ortiz's performance was kept in the final movie.
No way.
So the puppeteer also did the voice.
Wow, that's sick. Puppeteer was feeling himself, man. What can you do? You gotta pay him for that voice acting part too.
This is Sandra Hüller's first American film.
Oh. I would not have thought that.
Yeah.
Good for her.
We I guess I haven't seen her in a whole lot, but one movie that I know that we actually saw her in for the podcast was she was also in the one where it's the family living outside the concentration camp.
Oh, what is that called? It's such a good movie.
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest. I thought,
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's also in the Zone of Interest, but obviously that is a German film.
And if you haven't seen it, listen to our podcast on that. Killer movie. I don't even know what I rated that. I hope a 4.5.
But yeah, she's obviously done a lot of work on foreign films. But yeah, this is her first American film.
Cool. Just another type of foreign.
Just another type of foreign. Tau Ceti and 40 Eridani are actual star systems located approximately 11.9 and 16.3 light years away. With the current fastest crewed spacecraft, which is the Artemis 2 Orion, it would take roughly 321,000 years to reach Tau Ceti.
Brother. My God.
In the Star Trek
That's
franchise, the planet Vulcan orbits 40 Eridani A.
Oh,
So, same star system as Rocky.
pretty cool. All right.
Eva Strott is German in the movie, the same as Sandra Hüller, who portrays her, but in the book, that character is from the Netherlands.
Well, change it up a little bit. I don't know why they would change that, but okay.
I mean, there's like, yeah, I mean, I guess
It's the same kind of accent.
a German actress could play a Dutch character, but
Sure.
I guess they were just like, it doesn't matter, why not?
I guess the humor in Germany is a little different than the Dutch humor. I don't know.
This is the fastest film to reach 1 million viewers on Letterboxd 11 days after its theatrical release. It beat the previous record that was held by Barbie and Superman, who reached 1 million at 12 days.
Whoa. That's crazy. Let's go.
Also,
Does that mean they made more profit?
no, just that's like, it just means more people. Well,
Maybe, right?
I guess it ultimately,
They're
it all
like-
depends on like ticket prices.
Okay, gotcha.
But it just
Sure.
means on Letterboxd, 1 million people on their profile said, "Hey, I saw this movie."
Wow, that's cool.
Good opportunity to shout out our Letterboxd profile if you want to check out our ratings.
Check it out. It's a good one.
The 3 astrophages that Grace initially receives to research with are named Larry, Curly, and Moe, as can be seen on a whiteboard during one of his conversations with Carl. These are, of course, the names of the 3 Stooges.
Oh.
Author Andy Weir declared that a fan suggestion about the end of the story was canonical, that Grace named the living area that the Iridians built for him Graceland, but then refused to explain to Rocky why he finds that name funny.
Wait, why?
Graceland is the home of Elvis Presley.
Oh, okay. Why would he explain that?
I think because it's funnier to not tell them. The book doesn't contain the scene of Strott watching Grace's video. In the book, Grace finds out that he saved Earth when Rocky tells him that Iridian astronomers have determined that our sun has regained full strength.
Oh, okay.
Because the entire book is told from Grace's point of view, and so it doesn't show anything that Grace doesn't see.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Grace briefly mentions that the Iridians haven't discovered relativity. The book explains that this is the reason that Rocky's ship holds enough fuel for the return trip and enough to refuel the Hail Mary. They didn't know about relativistic time dilation, and so they thought that they needed much more fuel in order to reach Tau Ceti.
Interesting. Cool.
Grace's jumpsuit features civilian wings on his name patch. Civilian wings are embroidered in silver and then changed to gold when astronauts return to Earth. Grace's wings are already gold because he was never supposed to return, and so there wouldn't have been a chance to change them.
Oh, wow.
And final piece of trivia, Strott uses the same tactic when recruiting Grace as she does when sending him to space, where she pretends that her request is optional and then threatens him with force when he rejects.
Yeah.
does the same thing at the classroom and then at the end.
She's like, I might as well ask nicely once.
Right.
Dang, those are good. Yeah, those are good. That's a lot. More than usual.
Yeah,
More than
a lot of good trivia for
Holy
this
cow.
movie. I feel like sometimes I'm really struggling to find good ones because there's like a lot of just dumb trivia out there.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
This person was also in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
leave me alone. None of you does. But now,
Now let's get wrecked.
time to get wrecked, baby. And I have one ready for you.
Go for it.
So there's a place online. If you need glasses, it's called Yes Glasses. The glasses that I have on my nose as of current, I got from Yes Glasses. Highly recommend it. It's they've got tons of choices. You can make them like the lens is different colors. So I have some other frames in my car that have like orange lenses and they're prescribed. You can type in your prescription.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got 2 glasses for I don't know, like $130,
Does your
120.
insurance cover that?
No, no, it's like $120, which is usually what I pay for a frame anyway. At the end of the day,
Gotcha.
and I got 2 for the price of then 1.
Yeah.
Um, and I've been loving it. I mean,
How many pairs of glasses do you have?
now I have 2 that I use because I have a new prescription.
Gotcha.
But I did buy some from like, where did I get those other ones from? Anyway, I got like some, and then the frame once messed up, so they had to send me a new one. And then for some reason, those lenses like messed with my eyes. So when I was in Texas, I actually went to the eye doctor before I left
Nice.
because he knows me and he does a great job. Anyway, yes, glasses, highly recommend. I mean, it looks kind of fraudy, but it's not at all.
All right.
KK's gotten hella glasses from that place, and
How many glasses does she have?
dude, way too many.
I was
She bought like 4 new ones, and then like I think the first time wearing one of them, she lost them.
That's crazy.
Unreal.
I was talking to one of my friends at trivia the other day, and she said she had like 6 pairs, and I was like, I have one. I have 1 pair of glasses.
That's how I used to live too, though. But like with these being so cheap, it's like they have sales sometimes where it's like buy one get one free or buy one get one half off, and like one with everything in it is like 70, $80,
Yeah,
depending on like the type of frames you get.
that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, highly recommend.
All right, well, my recommendation is going to be the Gorillaz album called The Mountain.
Yeah,
Came out not like crazy recently, but like
maybe a month ago.
Great album. I would say it's not one of those where like it has a lot of like singles. Like a lot of the songs by themselves are not super noteworthy. They're not bad, but they're just like not like, wow, I love this particular song.
Yeah.
But I'd say like if you sit down and listen to the entire album start to finish, what an experience.
I agree. But don't listen to just like one song and call it a day. It's not like Gorilla's other songs where it's like these are like the killer ones.
Yeah.
But it's a good album. That is a good album.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family about us. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and hit the bell icon. Otherwise, leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Bluesky, Instagram, and TikTok at CasualFanPod.
Yep.
If you want to send us a message, you can DM us, leave a comment, or send an email to CasualFanaticPodcast@gmail.com. Links for all of that are in the description. What kind of messages can they send us?
Guys, send us messages of, hey, please review this movie. It was super good. Or, hey, man, I think this would really help, viewers experience something new. Do this movie. Or, I thought this movie was killer. You guys should review it. Please tell me your insight. To, hey, this is a really fun show. Or, I like this segment, or your own personal thoughts on a movie that we may have reviewed. Like maybe you hated this movie. Well, then tell us why. Because I don't know.
That would be crazy.
That'd be nuts. Please tell me. Yeah. I mean, just let us know. We love hearing some good old feedback. We like hearing from the fans of, their types of movies that we can then review. We're here for you guys, and you guys are here for us. So let's make this a collaboration.
And I would also say, in case you missed it, we do now have a TikTok account. So even if you're following us on other platforms, we would appreciate it if you'd follow us on TikTok as well,
Yeah.
because that will help other people see us that may not be on Instagram. Or
Yeah, if there's other movie buffs out there,
Yeah.
it's a community, so spread the word.
So yeah. And on that note, this has been Casual Fanatic. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.